Hey guys, this is another segment we've created of Ask Me Anything when it comes to finance and accounting qualifications. We've all started with curating a lot of questions that we've seen an overlap of via our YouTube comments, via Instagram, and a lot of personal questions that students and candidates have reached out to us over the years and asked us. So I'm going to start with a lot of obvious questions that have come to us, but if you have anything else that you'd like to ask, then please leave it in the comment below. Okay, so ACCA professionals cannot practice in India. In India, the only authority which can practice is the Indian CA. So if you've completed it from the ICAI, which is the CA body, then you're allowed to practice. Otherwise, as an ACCA, you can practice in multiple other countries from UK, Dubai, etc. And in India, you can actually have a career where if you're looking at climbing the professional ladder, let's say in companies like the Big Four, then except for audit, you can work in all departments all the way to the top level. And most people start audit as an ACCA at the beginning of their journey. The max you can reach is one sort of notch below the partner, because the partner alone gets the ability to actually have signing authority for that company. So as an ACCA, you have a lot of options. You can start your own company, you can venture into the industry, you can start a startup which is not in the field of finance and accounts, and you can practice in other countries. But no, in India, you have to be a chartered accountant. I generally don't recommend people to think like that. Well, if ACCA is all about chartered accountancy, right? So you cover things like accounts, finance, costing, financial management, auditing, taxation, even a business paper. Whereas CMA is a specialization into management accounting. And once again, you cover a lot of things in the field of finance as well as accounts. So number one, both these qualifications have a lot of reputation across the world, including in India. However, if you are still confused, well, let's say if you've just given your grade 12, right, or you know where you want to go, and for that you need to have an ACCA or a chartered accounting qualification, then you should do ACCA. It will take 2 to 3 years, but it has immense potential. People have created their entire careers with just ACCA. However, if you want sort of a shorter program, which costs less money as well as it takes lesser time, then I would say CMA US is probably your best bet. As a fresher, we've seen that students our candidates have been offered anywhere from 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs just by clearing the exams with 0 years of work experience. As you get more and more experience, it goes to 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 18 lakhs a year, right? And I have CFO friends who are ACCAs alone, and they make income in the crores and crores. Monthly salary can start at 50,000 and go up to an unlimited. There's no sort of cap to what you can earn. Well, you can't think of it as validity. Yes, it has validity, but the more important question is, do you have opportunities in India if you're a CMA US? And the answer is yes. Once again, we've had students who get placed in big companies like Genpact, obviously the Big Four, Grant Thornton, BDO, etc., just because of their CMA. It's more about how you actually derive the value from this qualification and apply it in your work experience, definitely in your interviews, and how you perform basis this qualification. But I think when it comes to its reputation or its recognition, CMA US has a lot of validity in India. On an average, it will take you approx 4 to 5 lakhs over a period of 3 years if you have to give the entire 3 levels of ACCA. Now remember guys, this includes everything. It includes your training fees, the study material, the registration fees, the subscription fees, the exam fees. Maybe you have exemptions and it will cost the exemption fees. Over and above this, if you are actually exempted from certain papers, right? Let's say you are a graduate, then you get 1 level exempted from 3. In that case, your actual cost will also reduce by at least 1 to 1.5 lakhs. Over and above this, guys, this is a earn as you learn kind of a qualification, which means that even over your 3 years where you're investing 4 to 5 lakhs in total, you also have the ability to start working and start earning. Hopefully by the end of this qualification, you will be nullifying your entire investment. And finally, once you're done with the qualification, the first salary package you will get, as long as you've done a good job, you've gone through the grind of getting that initial work experience as a member, the first salary you get will most likely be 6, 7, 8 lakhs, hopefully if you've got into a good, decent company. In that case, in the first 3-6 months, you recover the entire investment you've ever made in your ACCA qualification. Yeah, it's absolutely you can. It's on you. There are a lot of candidates who have, and I think the better way to answer it is not, pre-decide early on in life, I'm going to do these 2 qualifications and then pursue it. It's better to do one, along with, if you pursue ACCA, you start working, you have some 2-3 years of work experience, understand what you like, and then ask yourself, okay, if I like finance or I like financial markets, as an ACCA, I have already a certain base. Now, to get to the next level, can I just perform well, or do I need something like a CFA? And if that answer is yes, if your company encourages you, or you know that by adding a CFA, you're going to have more value because you have a goal, that's when you should do both. And then the answer is yes, of course, you can do both together. The answer is you can do almost any and everything that a chartered accountant does. So number one, you can actually start working in a professional capacity in CA firms or professional firms such as the Big Four. KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, EY, Grant Thornton, BDO, all of these kind of companies are hiring ACCAs in multiple domains, from statutory audit, forensic audit, internal audit, risk advisory, mergers and acquisitions, valuations, investment banking, etc., etc. Over and above this, if you don't want to work in the professional capacity, you can work in the industry. The finance head of Zell today has been working in ICICI Securities as a financial reporting head. We've had other CFOs, like I was mentioning in one of the other videos, that I have a friend again who started his journey in Deloitte, worked in a real estate company, and now heads a group, is a group CFO of a bunch of companies which are all into the commodities market in India. It's a 2,000 crore market cap kind of a company, and he's the CFO of such companies. So yeah, that's just in the industry itself. Over and above, finally, people like us, right, you can go and venture out of finance and accounting and start up anything that you want. I have one of our old students who is ventured into an AI startup for corporate presentations. And you can have more and more opportunities like this. Finally, over and above all of this, you can move overseas, because by nature, ACCA is global. So again, you'll see a lot of people who went to Dubai, who went to Singapore, who went to Australia, who went to UK. Basically, the entire world becomes your oyster, and you can actually make the career decision that you always dreamt of because of such a qualification. Well, there are only 2-3 simple ways, and there is no rocket science, there's no silver lining, there's no magic bullet. Number one, do take up some course, because finance, unlike probably things like marketing, finance has a lot of demand for these kind of degrees or qualifications, because finance is a domain that you need to have credibility. In a lot of other things, you can build your skill sets through just rigorous effort. In finance, you can, but it helps a long way if you are already qualified in some capacity. That's one. Second, when you are at 0 years of work experience, even with a qualification, you are mostly a nobody. You will have to put effort. You'll have to go and grind it out with internships. You'll have to probably take low-paying jobs. You might not like the first job, maybe even the second job you get. You might not get a great pay, but you will need it to build some form of experience on your CV. You've got to get through at least a few months, if not a couple of years, before you get the right opportunities. Do not be too selective in the beginning, because those opportunities are coming to you as long as you have studied and you've grinded it out for at least the first couple of years. It's not really the right, question. Accounting and finance. No, most people don't understand the meaning of both. So let me just start with that. Finance is all about money, right? It's how I earn money, how I manage my money, and how I deploy my money. Everything about money is finance. Accounting is sort of keeping a detailed track of all the money, because it sounds easy that if I have a lot of money, I'll know what I will invest in or what I will purchase, but immediately it becomes complicated, and you need accounting to keep track. That's part one. Secondly, accounting is very critical to sort of analyze what's happening to your money, because through analysis, you can actually make better decisions every single time. You don't lose money, you actually make more money, you make the right decisions rather than just emotional decisions. So accounting is very critical for all of that. So this is money management, this is keeping track of it and analyzing the money management. Both, I don't think that any of them are harder, but yes, some people gravitate towards money management, some people gravitate towards analysis, and if you understand which one you are, that's the better choice for you. Well, unfortunately in the world, risk of a lot of, especially financial risk, is just soaring. Today in the morning I was reading a newspaper, and every day, there is some article of somebody going through some form of a cyber fraud or digital fraud, or some sort of senior person getting duped by spending, it's unreal how many people get scammed or are going through these problems. So risk of finance is becoming very, very high. for corporations, it is even more critical because many of them handle other people's money. So they need people who can understand financial risk. Now, that's what a FRM is basically created for as a qualification or as an individual. If you studied, you can help companies avoid risk or manage their risks. There is a position called CRO, a Chief Risk Officer, which has become very common. And I think money management for risk is probably going to be one of the most critical criteria in the future. In fact, it started now for organizations. So yeah, FRM has immense value, and I think it's just going to grow and grow. On an average, it will take you around 3 years if you take all 13 papers and you stick to it consistently. If you've gotten any exemptions from, let's say, 1 level, you can reduce the time by 1 year. If you have exemption from 2 levels, reduce it by 2 years. Well, everybody has to actually start working. Even if you start ACCA when you're not working, you should, by the time you reach skill level, you need to start working. The best way to think of it is that, well, I don't think that you need to overanalyze this. You work Monday to Friday at the time that your office requires. Saturday, Sundays, and if you're a morning or a night person, then weekdays, morning or night, you will have to start investing some time. Of course, as the exams come closer, just like in the old days, the studying time will go higher. Give a lot of mocks towards the end. Try to take a leave for hopefully 3 days, 5 days, whatever the company allows maximum every quarter that you're giving the exam. And I think if you make this clear at the time of even getting the job, then most companies even accept it. So yeah, there's no secret. You have to grind it out. You might have to sleep less. You might have to sacrifice going out for those, especially during the exam phases. But then, you're not going to win anything if you don't give up something. So yeah, you just grind it out. Yes, of course you can. I think massive amount of people are. It's just that, when you need to have some direction, you need to have some guidance. And the reason many people take training is not because they feel that they can't learn by themselves, but they don't have structure. They are busy with work or with college. They might miss the timelines. They might actually have doubts which they don't have anybody to ask. So if you can sort that aspect out, then of course you can self-study. In fact, we made tons of videos where I've explained you step by step on how you can self-study, all the things you require about how to register for the exam, how to give these other modules, the ethics module, and how to complete your work experience. A lot of even tips and tricks that helps you for the exams. So yes, you can self-study for ACCA. No, just like in India, it is not recognized in the USA. See, in India, you have the Indian CA. Globally, it's the ACCA. And in US, you have the US CPA. So if you want to practice, you've got to complete the US CPA exam.